Hey folks, and welcome to Hank's True Barbecue. Today we're going to compare charcoal versus oak wood in my backyard size smoker. So one of you guys viewing the channel actually hit me up with an email asking for something that really triggered me. It was like, since I build these custom offset smokers, why don't I have a port, like a fan port, so I can actually automate it, since I have the fireboard thermometer, and I usually use this one to push a fan into a kettle. So then I thought, that's interesting. But then I thought, well, usually when running with firewood, I have to supply new logs and splits too often anyway, so it's not going to make a difference. In this case, I really like the fireboard and running it automated like a PID controller with the fan connected to a kettle, or my Kamado grill, the big green egg, because that's like the perfect application for it. But how would that work in an offset? Then I thought, let's take it up in the level. Let's make it even more interesting, because I use my big old offset over there. I'm going to show you in a minute. And I tried getting that up to temp, but I couldn't. Then I thought, I haven't tried this one, this more backyard size mold. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to compare the heat you get from charcoal versus wood. And I think that could be really interesting to see the difference. And also, so anyhow, enough talk, let's fire up the charcoal, get that started, and then we can have a look at the different smokers. So what I'm going to do is fill a chimney full of charcoal and dump it in the firebox, and then probably a second chimney. And we have those two going. I'm going to leave it for like 30 minutes to get it up to temp and see where we are at. Now, in order to get the chimney going, I'm actually going to use one of these devices. I bought a year ago, I think. It's actually super convenient. It's called BBQ Jet. What it is basically a stationary Luft lighter. So it's super convenient. Just pop the lid open. Of course you need electricity, but again, and then just place the charcoal chimney starter right on top of it, and then pick it up and go. So super convenient. Anyhow, let's set something on fire. So the charcoal I'm going to use is this brand. I think it's from Germany, I'm not sure. Premium Oak Lump Charcoal. Chef's choice. Doesn't sound bad, does it? Actually, I've been using this for some while. It's really good. So I'm just going to fill up that chimney starter and get the fire going. So one chimney's in, here goes the second one. That's a good pile of charcoal. I'm going to close the door here, and we'll just leave it in the wide open position to get this up to temp. So we'll leave it for 30 minutes and see where we're at. But first though, I got to install the thermometer. There you go, just to get a good second reading to compare with this one. So now we're waiting for the smoker to come up to temp. Now the fun thing about this is I actually don't know what the outcome will be. But it's interesting to see. I have my suspicion, but again, I'm not going to say anything, but we'll see what happens, how it works out. So I'll meet you guys back here in 30 minutes and we'll see where the temp is at. So this is my big smoker called Rude Boy. Pretty much bigger than the backyard size version. Now I know when I did build this a few years ago, I tried actually to weld together like a box, if you like, for briquettes, so I could form an S-shaped snake in it. I figured if I can do that, it'll run by itself for a while, just in case I need to leave it for an hour. But the thing is, I tried dumping in quite a few briquettes, and even after like 5 to 8 kilos of briquettes, I still couldn't get this one past 80 degrees Celsius. That's not low and slow, that's like too low and slow. So, didn't work. But then again, let's try the smaller backyard size smoker and see what happens. It's breathing properly. I mean, I have a good draft. I can feel the hot air coming out here, but it's still not getting up to temp fast enough. So let's add another chimney. So we're 15 minutes in, but I'm gonna add another third chimney of charcoal, see if that helps. Not getting this up to temp, as it's not hot enough as I see it, but hopefully this should do it. So we've been going at it for 30 minutes. I'll show you the temp chart later. I'll post it in here, but anyhow, 30 minutes. We have some really good glowing embers here. It's quite hot, but the smoker is just up to 95 Celsius, which just isn't enough. I mean, granted, it is quite cold outside. It's a lot of metal, quite a few kilos to warm up, and the charcoal has taken the bulk of that to heat up the smoker. But it's just not enough. And the main reason, I think, is there's not just enough BTUs or energy in the charcoal to get it going. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop in a few oak splits, and we'll see how the temp curve reacts. I'm going to drop 3 of them in here. So just by adding 3 splits, the temp curve started climbing immediately. It's quite a fast reaction. The thing is, there is a lot more energy in the wood, the oak wood, because charcoal is pre-burnt wood, if you like. It's burned in a low oxygen environment. But the main difference really is not so much the cellulose, i.e. the wood fibers that are burning. It's all the compound organic gases that are they are combustible, and that's what's burning. That's what's adding a lot of energy when cooking, and that's why firewood has such a high level of BTUs compared to charcoal. So in this case, to answer the question I started out with, is it good enough to run with just charcoal? I would say, well, if you have what's known as a COS, cheap offset smoker, if it's really thin material, of course it works really well with charcoal. You can plug a fan into the fan port and run it automated with the fireboard or a BBQ or any other device. That's really going to help. In this case though, just like my big offset smoker, I'm going to need firewood to get it up to temp. That's not a bad thing though, because I really enjoy the sitting here tending to the fire, keeping an even temp, adding splits or logs depending on where I am in the temp curve or where I'm headed, if we're getting close to the stall, if I want to push past the stall, etc. So quite a few reasons. So if I want to do a fully automated cook, I can set up my kettle anytime. If I want to get that real bona fide barbecue feeling, get into the spirit and manage the fire, I'm going to use firewood, and it's going to be quite a bit hotter. So there you see how it works. Now, have you done the same experiment with your smoker? Can you get it to run on charcoal only or briquettes? That would be interesting to know, and what type of setup and size of smoker you have. So do let me know, drop a comment down below. Anyhow, I'm gonna feed a few more splits to this one, then throw on some food, because you can't run a smoke without cooking, can you? Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.